జాగృతి వీక్షకులందరికీ నమస్కారం. రాష్ట్రీయ స్వయం సేవక్ సంఘ్ ఈ సంవత్సరం శతాబ్ది ఉత్సవాలను జరుపుకుంటోంది. దేశమంతా ఇందుకు సంబంధించినటువంటి కార్యక్రమాలు జరుగుతూనే ఉన్నాయి. పెద్దలు తమ సందేశాలను ఇస్తున్నారు. ఆర్ఎస్ఎస్ తాత్వికత ఏమిటి? ఆర్ఎస్ఎస్ సంఘంలో క్షేత్రస్థాయిలో చేస్తున్న పని ఎలాంటిది? దేశ భద్రతకి, రక్షణకి, యువత మనోభావాలకి ఆర్ఎస్ఎస్ ఎట్లా స్పందిస్తుంది అనే విషయాన్ని నాయకులు ప్రతి సందర్భంలోనూ చెబుతూనే ఉన్నారు. ఆర్ఎస్ఎస్ తనదైన రీతిలోనే తన మౌలిక విలువలను విడనాడకుండానే, విస్మరించకుండానే వర్తమాన ప్రపంచం మీద తనవైన అభిప్రాయాలను వ్యక్తం చేస్తూనే ఉంటుంది. నాయకుల ద్వారా అవి మన వరకు వస్తూనే ఉంటాయి. ఆధునిక కాలంలో ఏ రకంగా చూసినా ప్రపంచం ఒక సంక్షోభంలోనే ఉండిపోతోంది. ఆ సంక్షోభం ప్రభావం భారతదేశం మీద కూడా ఉంటుంది. ఈ అంశం మీద మనం ఎట్లా స్పందించాలి? భారతదేశంలో ఉన్న సమస్యల మీద మనం ఎట్లా స్పందించాలి? ప్రపంచం నుంచి వచ్చి వీస్తున్నటువంటి గాలుల గురించి మనం ఏ విధంగా భావించుకోవాలి అనే అంశాలను ఇవాళ ఆర్ఎస్ఎస్ సర్కార్యవాహ దత్తాత్రేయ హోసబలే గారితో ముఖాముఖి అడిగి తెలుసుకుందాం. సార్, ఫస్ట్ క్వశ్చన్. It seems to be that the RSS has been giving utmost priority to Pancha Parivartan on par with the basic principle of Hindu unity in its plan of action. Will you please elaborate it and how the results will be?
See, the Pancha Parivartan is not something altogether new one. Sangha has already been working on these things. But at the threshold of centenary year, Sangha thought that this should become a movement in the society for transformation of our society. All these 5 issues, at least 4, we have been working on them. That is Samajik Samartha, the social harmony, or the Paryavaran thing, that is environmental concerns, then Kutumba Prabodhan, the family counseling and the family system, and the Swadeshi. These have been already, the Sangha Swayamsevaks, they were taking these issues and conducting various activities. But it was in a limited circle, although throughout the country. And the 6th one, that is civic sense and civic duty, 5th one, that we have added recently. Although Swayamsevaks going to Shaka, they were following the civic duties and civic sense. But to make these 5 as a social movement, we feel that this is the Yuga Dharma. How Hindutva should be explained? Hindutva is not only building a temple in Ayodhya or removing the Article 370. Otherwise, what happens? People think that Hindutva agenda is only these 4, 5. It is not like that. Our Hindutva agenda is only Akhanda Bharat. So Hindutva is not an agenda, it is a way of life. And so it encompasses the entire life. So today, what is required for our society? At the individual level, at the society level, at the national level, and also with nature of concern and universal. So that is why we thought there are certain things in life, certain the material life also, there are certain, for example, the civic sense and civic duties, it may appear to be a simple following the rules. It is not just that. It is also a dharma. Because when an individual lives in a society, he should have concern for others. If I go to the campus of a hospital, how I should behave? Or if I go to the university campus, where there is a library, research work is going on, teaching is going on, it is not a bazaar, it is not a market. So how I should drive a vehicle inside the campus? See, in this campus, they have made some restrictions. So we should follow these things automatically as a reflex action. That is civic sense and civic duty. See, when you go to the temple, you follow certain things because of value cultivation in life. We leave the chappal outside. When we go there, we behave in a particular way. We don't spit anything because we feel it is sacred. So every part of a park is also sacred. You should not spit there, but we forget. So dharma encompasses the behavior. Dharma concerns the community living society. So that's why all these issues are important. Economically, we should be self-reliant. Defense, we should be self-reliant. Language, our next generation should not forget the Bharatiya languages. Many a time, our future generation, they do not know much about their own language. They are not studying the books in their language.
Mother tongue is being
neglected. Who is responsible? It's not only the policy of the government. It is the parents.
Yes, parents.
They should take care. So that's why these issues are, as Panchaparama, it's a social movement. So it is a part of Hindutva. It is a Yuga Dharma. So that's why now what is the response? The response in last 6 months, what we have seen, is tremendous. And almost all sections of society, whether it is the industrialists or the elders, the professors, professionals, the religious heads or family people of all age group. So everybody says this is a fantastic thing that we should follow. One more thing, here it is free from any religion. It is religious neutral. Every religion has to follow this. See, whether it is economic concern or civic duty, or the Swadeshi or the family values, all religions have to follow. Second, it involves no money. No extra money is required to follow this. Number 3, no extra government rule is required. It is a society transformation. So that is why the response is overwhelming.
Of 5 Panchaparivartana rules, which is more attractive to people nowadays?
It depends on the various people and persons. Some people suddenly they welcome the idea of Parivar Prabodhan because they feel the pinch in their families or surroundings. Some people say civic sense, civic duties. So I cannot say which is because as I said in my interaction with the society, people of different groups have their own concerns. So some people say yes, this Swadeshi is very important. So it depends. Environmental, some people say it is. That's why which one is number one, I cannot say. That is why while telling also many a time, I change the order also. Not necessarily it is in the same order. Otherwise people think that Samajik Samarastha is first and last is civic sense. No, not necessarily. So it depends on the place or the persons or the community where we are talking with.
But civic sense also is more important in the
For you.
present, no, sir. Present society.
You know, that's the thing is, see, I went to Buddha Vihar and a place in Surat where people who are belonging to scheduled caste, they were all there. They said RSS has taken this social thing. This is very important. He is not bothered about the environmental concern because their living condition is so poor. That's why they feel at least first equality is important. Social justice is important. So that's why I cannot say. For me, I will say all the things, 5 things are equally important.
Yes,
So that way you cannot say which I is first.
Sir, Vande Mataram has its patriotic history in inspiring entire India during freedom movement. How the inspiration of that song will be useful in attaining psychological unity among Indians in future. The Parliament has conducted special debate on the song. In what way we can interpret the initiative taken by the Parliament in terms of Vande Mataram?
One thing, the government of Bharat, and particularly the Parliament, they have now made a special discussion in the Parliament. It is very good. Not that something extra has been done. Because of this initiative for a discussion in the Parliament, now a debate has taken place for this generation. Because the present generation, or even one generation previous, they did not know much about the story of the Vande Mataram. So now it is not that RSS or BJP are giving something extra emphasis. See, the Constitution of Bharat clearly says that Janaganamana and Vande Mataram are kept on equal status, on equal pedestal. This is the Constitution's stand, number one. Number two, the Parliament sessions were started with Vande Mataram and ended with Janaganamana. And Constituent Assembly has discussed this at length. But over a period of time, right from independence, the national song, Vande Mataram, is not being taught at all. See, in the General Assembly in the school, Janaganamana is chanted. Most welcome, it should be, because it is the national anthem. But at least at some occasions, the government schools and the private schools, they should also sing Vande Mataram, because it is a constitutional thing. So conveniently, they kept it aside. Why? Because some people are not interested in seeing Bharat as Bharat Mata, or somebody says it is not secular. If it is so, why the Constituent Assembly discussed this and included that? So you are conveniently avoiding something constitutional thing. Otherwise, they accuse the RSS is not following the Constitution. So conveniently, they want to leave some constitutional things which are there. Number two, the Vande Mataram has played a very significant, prominent role during the freedom struggle. So it is not something that RSS has introduced. This land has seen the sacrifice in the name of Vande Mataram for the glory of the nation, for the emancipation of the nation. So why it should not be remembered by every generation? It should be respected. So that's why it is not something imposing. Not at all. Why? It is their constitutional obligation. One should follow it. And it inspires the people of this country to work for the nation, to sacrifice for the nation if necessary. So that's why, and it also inculcates the values of the nationhood. Because when Bankim Chatterjee has composed those fantastic lines, he has had in mind the long history of this country and cultural and civilization values of this country. And whatever have been said in the Vande Mataram have been in pictures in the first copy of the Constitution also. So together we have to see this.
In 1937, two main standards were deducted from Vande Mataram because Muslims wanted it. Albeit they don't want to sing it. Is there any other reasons?
No other reason. The so-called pseudo-secularism. And second thing is, okay, they removed the remaining stanza, two stanzas they kept. Even that they are not singing. Why? What you retained, that also you are not singing.
That is the question.
That's what I am telling. It is only to appease a section of the society. Not only, I am not telling the appease the Muslim society. The so-called, the liberal secular mindset of our people. They are the reason. They want to say that no, if the Vande Mataram is sung, it is an affront on your religion. How? That cannot be. So that's why it is the mindset of the colonized minds of the left liberal secular gang of this country. They have done it with many other things. They did it with Sanskrit Bhasha language. They have done it with Vande Mataram. They have done it with many other things. So they have done it with the Saraswati Vandana in the schools. They have done it with history. They have distorted it. So that is the crime they have committed. And now the time has come, the society is ready to accept. So that's why it's going on.
Sir, question on this. Like tsunami, Generation Z, Gen Z, has swept some countries, including Bangladesh, Nepal. In this scenario, a debate has been going on about the influence of the RSS on Indian youth. How the influence will be? How can we see the emotion of Gen Z that has been sweeping the world? Whose vested interests are there behind this?
See, Gen Z movement, it was there, the name is new. When I was college student, the JP movement was there. How JP movement started?
Sampurna Viplavam.
Yes, it is not the Jayaprakash Narayan's movement. He did not start it. It is the students who started it.
In Gujarat.
I was also a student and I participated. So it was also Gen Z at that time. They did not call it Gen Z, they call it youth movement. So today you are calling it Gen Z. Okay, the name is new. Because every new generation comes with some new ideas. Every new generation behaves anti-establishment. Every new generation has some aspiration. And that aspiration has to be fulfilled by the society or by the establishment. Otherwise they become anti-establishment. Even in a house, in a family, the new generation is not very ready to listen to the elders. So Gen Z is there in every family also. So the feeling is that I don't listen to my father, even it is good. Because, and my father was also doing the same thing when he was young. So the Gen Z is a phenomenon of the human life. But this thing is, the Gen Z is not only anti-establishment. It is many a time questioning. It is quest. It is trying to understand. It is trying to research. Because every new generation comes with a new intelligence. So that is why they have better knowledge than the previous generation in certain things. May not be in everything. That is why, and every generation has a mind of adventure. And they are not ready to accept injustice. That is why they are ready. Why the revolutionaries in our country, young people, were ready to oppose the British, throw the bombs, go to the gallows. So this is there in every generation. Today in our neighboring countries, why it is happening? Because the governments there have failed to provide employment or to fulfill the aspirations of the new generation, or they are deeply immersed in corruption. So these are the issues, the economic issues, corruption, and some societal issues. So that is why they lost the faith in the establishment. That is why they have reacted. In Bharat, the situation is slightly different. The younger generation have still faith in many of the society and the government actions. Maybe there may be some opposition, it's true. Say for example, the young generation are going to temples, are going as Kavadiyas in large number. We can see in thousands and thousands of people, they carry water and they are going across these. See, this is a vast country and here the diversities are so much. So that is why it is not that The same thing will happen in India. No, but aspirations are there. Youth aspirations should be addressed. That is why in RSS, Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, we are addressing the youth and many socio-cultural, spiritual movements of our country. They are having their youth sections and they are addressing those youth, their aspirations, worldly aspirations, their cultural upbringing, their connectivity with the society. So these things have to be addressed properly. And in Sanskrit, it has been said, at what age or how one should behave the elders. Chodashe varshe praptam putram mitravadacharet. At the age of 16, when the son is at the age of 16, Chodashe varshe, putra mitravadacharet, means the father should behave with his own son at the age of 16 as friend. So the 16-year is Gen Z. So how the father should behave? He should behave as a friend, not only as son. So when you start behaving with that, understanding that, then these things will be addressed properly at the society and family level. At the government level also, the governments have to take sufficient steps to see that the aspirations of the youth are addressed. That is why in economic or in education, research, etc., the government is doing that. That's why I don't see a sudden such upsurge like in the neighboring countries in Bharat.
Sir, recently, one of the social media saints has said that he kept his family members away from the social media. How can we make him to understand that this precaution is necessary for entire society? What is the role of the governments and the NGOs in doing so?
That is true. Many of the prominent corporate houses in the West, in particularly US and other countries, I think I've heard that Bill Gates has asked his daughter or son not to see social media.
Is it that restrictions also apply to remaining society?
See, imposing restrictions unnaturally will boomerang, will create more complicated results. The governments can definitely restrict something, screening. But when the government of Nepal restricted social media, what was the reaction we have seen? So that is why it should be very carefully handled. But screening is possible. For example, porno should not be spread. Certain government things can be. Well, government also tried to stop TikTok. Not very successful. We have seen that. Because in the modern age of communication with the technology, these things cannot be so successfully done. So that is why even restriction by family heads on the families is considered as imposing your ideas on me by the new generation. That is why sanskar, inculcating sanskar is the proper way. You discuss with the youngsters what you are seeing, who are your friends, who are your peers, how I can help you in debating. So we should discuss these things because the younger generation, the little kids are also now understanding many things about life which we were not understanding at that age. So that is why it is better way is to inculcate sanskaras in a friendly way. Discuss the harms of these things. But what are the usefulness of the social media? That also should be discussed. You can definitely get better information. You can have better, you get something which is not generally available otherwise. So it is available. Good, use it. So that is why the use and misuse should be discussed. So how we can, the self-restraint is always important. I don't see that imposing is going to help. It will create further problem. and psychological problems. Then you have to address that. Instead of that, the free flow of information, but I should have the training to restrain myself. That sanskara has to be given. And that can be discussed in the family. That is why in our Parivar Prabodhan, we are discussing these things. In our youth camps, we discuss these things. In our Sangha Shiksha Varga, one elderly person, he sits with the Swayamsevaks and he discusses. In some of the Pranta, in Sangha, some senior person, he discusses with the Sangha Swayamsevaks personal things, even about matter of sex, even matter of the relations with friends. So then they open up. So this is the way we have to cultivate the younger people on the right path.
Sir, the BJP is in power at Naxalbari, where the Naxalism was born. Under the circumstances where the Maoists has been failed in identifying this sea change or failed in recognizing the grave injustice done to the backward tribal community due to their misdeeds.
It was in 180 districts, now it is reduced to 11 districts. Every movement has its expiry date.
Is it movement or revolution? It cannot be
It was
called
not a
revolution.
It was not revolution. It
It
was a
cannot be
reaction.
called,
It was a reaction. It was a reaction. Because of a particular situation. How they might have had great love for society. They saw the injustice in society. They saw the exploitation in society. So they wanted to react. The method was wrong. I don't say their concern was wrong. Whether we accept exploitation? No. Whether we accept injustice? No. These evils should be removed. But what is the way, what is the method in a democratic society? So that's why taking up arms and killing ordinary people in the name of revolution is a counterproductive thing. For nearly 30 years of Naxalism, what they have ultimately achieved. You are from Telangana. What is the experience of Gadar?
Lastly, he joined in
Ultimately,
Congress.
what happened?
He joined in Congress.
So that is the whole thing. That means in your hot blood, that age, you try to do away with the government by force and killing the ordinary forest rangers and ordinary police cop who is earning so little, who is not exploiting anybody. He was killed. So that's why this is a misconcept of the whole revolution, the idea of revolution. And it has not helped anywhere in the world, not only in this country. In some small countries, they might have removed the government for some time.
Yes.
Again, it comes back. That's why ultimately, the social change and transformation has to take place. We can't accept injustice. We can't accept exploitation. There has to be something better life for ordinary people. So for that, the government has to do something. Society has to play its role. So where they have failed, the Naxalites, they did not understand the changing waves of the society. They were in the same old days. One. Secondly, they thought that by doing this, the society will be terrorized or the government will budge. It didn't happen. But what they have done, they have tried to infiltrate in other areas. That is, urban Naxals have taken birth. So the Naxalism of the forest, Naxalism of the hill areas, Naxalism of the tribal belt has moved to urban areas, and that is more dangerous. Though they may not be using arms so openly, so rapidly, but they are disturbing the minds and societies in a different way so that they can change the governments. And that has happened in some countries, Venezuela, etc. So they are dreaming that to happen in India, which is not going to happen.
Sir, how the Swadeshi, the core principle of India's independence movement, will be imbibed in the fast changing mechanization era.
See, every country has to have some portion of Swadeshi in its economic policy. It depends on the country's experience and country's capacity and competence. Japan can have its Swadeshi in some area. So every country has to think of it. America also said, be American, buy American. So it is a Swadeshi in them. Japan has said economic nationalism. So every country has its own share of Swadeshi in their own concept. So in our country, Swadeshi is not just economic policies or self-dependence in the field of economy and prosperity, the material prosperity. It also involves other aspects of life. So Swadeshi, it may be mainly the economic policies, true, because for more than 200 years, we are exploited by the British rule. So that's why our industry, our economic structures, they were disturbed. So in the era of independence, we have tried to pick up. I don't say we have not done anything. We have done something. But still, our dependence on the multinational companies, on the major countries in the world, on our defense and technology, this continued for many years. So this has to stop at some time. We have to restrict in some areas. And in some areas, we can develop our competence. For example, now in space technology, we are not lagging behind. We are in 1 and 3. We have also produced superconductor. We have also produced computers, supercomputers. So in many areas, in medical science, we are not lagging behind much. So in many areas, we are becoming self-dependent. We are becoming strong. So we should encourage these things, because the young researchers in every field of science and technology, they are competent with anybody in the world, our young people. So they need society support, government support, initiatives, and proper channelization of those things. So that has to be done. There is Atmanirbharta, when the Prime Minister says, he emphasizes on these things. And he said Pancha Pranas, etc., etc., how this can be. And another thing, the Swadeshi movement of the freedom struggle, it was not just an economic movement. It was a self-respect about our language, our culture, our nature. So these things are also important. Just we are self-sufficient in the field of economy and wealth creation and science and technology is not going to help us. That has to be supported with other aspects of life. So it is a total package.
This is the centenary celebrations year of RSS. I want to ask one question. In the backdrop of the RSS centenary celebrations, elaborate the expansion of the Shekhas across the country. What is the response from the Hindus towards Shatabdi programs? What is your message to Hindu society at this juncture?
The RSS centenary year activities have been welcomed by the society, by all sections. And we have been interacting with the society at various levels. One, our Swayamsevaks are going door to door, meeting people. We are not collecting any money. We are not asking them to do anything. Just we are discussing with them 10, 15, 20 minutes, whatever they give. And we are distributing our literature. We are saying about the Pancha Parivartan. We are telling about the Sangathan. And 99% of the people are welcoming. They said this is a very good thing and they are coming forward. And particularly about the contribution of the Sangh in last 100 years, at least 50 years, what they know, everybody appreciates. They welcome it. And most of them, they say, we don't find time to come to Shaka, but what you are doing is very good. At least this encouragement is there. Our Swayamsevaks are happy because there is positive response. Number two, about the Panch Parivartan, they say what we can do in our family. Most of the people, our Swayamsevaks say, you can do these simple things in your family for the Panch Parivartan. They accept it. They try to follow it. Number two, in various sections, we are meeting the heads of our communities in the Hindu society, in a Samaj Sadbhav Baitaks. There, everybody says, the RSS can bring all these people on one single platform. We have to think about this society. And the sadhu sants and dharmacharyas, they are blessing us. It is the Sangh which has protected and preserved Hindu Dharma. So they are supporting. Even in the political field, openly some people may not, but privately also, many of the people who belong to different political parties, they have been giving their places for the activities of the Sangh Shaka, our camps, our programs. They are willing to do it. I may be in a political party which may not be of your liking, but what you are doing is good work. So that is why we are going beyond any political affiliation, because when it comes to society's work, when the nation's work, we should not draw the political limitations. We are open, they are also open. Fine, wonderful. And I have been meeting people of the industries, trade, commerce, etc. We are meeting people with the film field. We are meeting people from professionals like doctors, advocates. I have met people who are ex-servicemen in Chandigarh. So, across people we are meeting. Within Sarsanga Chalakji had 3 interactions in major cities, Delhi, Bengaluru and Kolkata, and the next one is in Mumbai. And all the places, people have come in large number. They are ready to sit for 3 hours, 4 hours. They are listening to him and they are asking questions and answers have been told. I don't think in any other efforts in our country, the chief of the organization is sitting for 3 hours and answering the public's question, and people are also sitting. So we have opened a new vista of interaction in the society about the nation's welfare and progress. So that is why people have accepted it. And it is not the question of one RSS organization and its organizational activity. It is the work of the entire nation. We should search our souls. We should elevate ourselves. We should live as one society. So this, when we say these positive vibes are there across the country, that the response is very good. Message, RSS should not try to give any new message. Already that message is there. Vivekananda said, Atmano Mokshartam Jagadhitayacha. Elevate yourselves and help them. Our elders have said, Dharmo Rakshitiracha. Protect the Dharma, it will protect you. Our freedom struggle people have said, Vande Mataram, Bharat Mata Ki Jai. Why? Worship the world. And Vivekananda said, worship Bharat Mata for the next 50 years and keep all the gods away. So, there are umpteen number of messages. The question is whether we are ready to follow it by our Manasa, Vacha and Karmana. So, that we have to do. The action is important. So, the RSS message is, the good thing you know, practice it. Number 2, if you have a theme, we have a team. If you have a team, we have a team for the welfare of the society. If anybody is doing anything good, we are ready to support. If you want to do something good and you want some support, RSS is there. And if you are doing something you don't want to come to the RSS, but you want to do something good for the society, even then you are doing the work of the RSS. God bless you.
విన్నాం కదా, ఆర్ఎస్ఎస్కి సంబంధించినటువంటి అభిప్రాయాలు ఎంత విస్తృతమో ఎంత వాస్తవికమో. మరోసారి ఇంకో కార్యక్రమంలో మనం కలుసుకుందాం. ధన్యవాదాలు.